Good morning. Hello, everyone. It is Dr. Toni, and I am going to have a gritty conversation with you so that you can get feeling so you can feel appreciated. Okay. A lot of times you are feeling like, man, how come no one is as nice as me? How come people don't reciprocate? Why is it that the more I do, the less I get? You know that saying, the nice guy finishes last or doesn't get the girl or whatever you want to say. Okay. There's a reason for that. If you're watching this broadcast at any time, well, right now, let me know if you can hear me. Let me make sure I'm going live as planned. But I also wanted to find out where everybody is visiting me from. Yes, I'm popping in here all month because I want us to grow. And so I'm calling it gritty growth. I want you to stop asking the wrong questions and start figuring out what you do need to take control of in your life. So I have a couple of things that I want to give you as tools in your toolbox so that you can see the world a little differently, change your perspective, and then we can start working on what really you can control. We can start working on what's really wrong here. So the wrong question is, how come when I'm nice to them, they're not nice to me, right? How come my self-care doesn't work? Self-care is not bubble baths. Sorry. Newsflash, the reason that your vacation, your trip to the spa, your time to yourself doesn't make you feel restored is because so much of your time is spent in toxic spaces with toxic people, taking from you all the good, all the joy, all the fun. They're just wringing you dry, so you're feeling overwhelmed. So I just want to make sure that we have a conversation about what's really going on. We were trained to be nice girls growing up. Okay. We were trained to see the world as, if I do this, then I'll get that. Nice people finish last because you don't see the difference between nice and being kind. I was raised to be kind. Nice has a transactional piece to it. Okay. Yes, it's time. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. It's time. Nice versus kind. Kind is pure. Hey, I like this person. I feel that they could use this beautiful blanket. I like to make blankets. I ask them what colors they like and I go make it, right? And I'm like, man, it feels so good to give someone who I appreciate this gift, right? So different than when you say, and I've had this happen as a real life example. I made this expensive German chocolate cake. I bought special imported chocolates. I made all these different, modifications from the family recipe. I used the very expensive nuts and all the butter, the real butter, and they did not appreciate it. I'm like, okay, so the real question here is, do they like chocolate? No. Do they even like chocolate? Do they even eat nuts? And you have not asked them, what do they like? What do they want? What do they enjoy? You thought that because you were doing this wonderful thing that they should automatically appreciate you. Does this make sense to you? You keep doing the most without discussing what you're expecting in return, or you're not asking the right questions. If I know that I want someone to really enjoy their birthday cake, I'm going to ask them, what kind of cake do you like? So that we can actually get on the same page, as opposed to you deciding what people should feel. You got this expectation. So somebody type in the chat that you have the wrong expectations. I need y'all to get a clue about kind versus nice. Kind is, I want to do this and I expect nothing in return. Nice is, I want them to like me. I want them to appreciate me. I want something in return. And that is transactional. That's a different ballgame. You want to seem agreeable, right? You want them to think of you a certain way, whether you establish that feeling with each other or not. Okay. So that's why it doesn't work at your job. You're trying to be nice to everybody because you either want them to like you, or you have something else in mind. Like, if I'm nice to them, then there'll be some reciprocity down the line. That's not necessarily how things work. So I was asked to be chief resident, and I said, absolutely not, because I'm not nice. And that's what y'all want. Y'all want me to say yes. You want me to be agreeable, and I'm not going to do that. I will be fair and kind. There have been times in my life when I was asked to be the leader for those reasons. They knew I would be fair. They knew I wouldn't let people butter me up and brown nose. Who likes a brown noser, y'all? Nobody. Not really, because it's not genuine. It's all from a place of, if I do this, something will happen. So you don't get what you deserve if you're nice. You get what you negotiate if you're kind. You see what I'm saying? You're coming from a genuine place, an authentic place. My job as a coach is to inspire you to live the life you really want, unapologetically, not giving a damn what other people think about you at all. That's the life I have now. I don't worry about, like, if you're not on the same page with me, I don't worry about it. I just move on to where somebody can appreciate my perspective, etc. Okay? So give me your takeaway from just this part of the discussion, because I had to have said something that made you realize this is where I'm falling down. This is where I misunderstood, and I was raised to be this agreeable person. Example, family. The family comes over for the holiday. Go hug Miss Uncle so-and-so. Go kiss grandma. Go do such and such, even though you can't stand that person, right? Because that's what nice kids do. That's what nice people do. Well, nice and kind are different. And frankly, I want you to respect my kids' space. I want you to respect their autonomy. I don't want to force my daughter to go mess with that weird uncle. If she doesn't feel comfortable, I'm cool with that. I'm going to say, oh, not today. Just wave and, greet the elders. But you ain't got to go sit on anybody's lap or anything like that. We don't have to be nice. We have to respect other people. So that brings us to our next point. Okay. So I'm going to write these down because honestly, nice versus kind. I need y'all to comment if you see where I'm coming from. So nice versus kind is a huge part of why you're not where you want to be, and you have expectations that are not realistic, and you haven't had real conversations with yourself about why you're angry, why you're disappointed, why you don't feel appreciated. Okay. Y'all are in the nice girl category. And nice girl, there's actually a book that I love. Nice girls, nice women don't get the corner office. Okay. You don't, because you're too busy trying to please everyone instead of sticking to the mission, which is to serve the world in the way that you were made. Okay. So nice versus kind, no fun. Number 2, stop trying to be liked. I'm just letting you know, stop giving a damn. Stop caring what they think. Okay. I'm giving this to you so you can see it. Some people are visual. You need to see it. Stop caring what they think. You're not doing it because you care what other people think about you. You're not trying to get anything in return. You felt like this person did X and now you want to do Y and you expect nothing in return. Stop trying to get everyone to like you like it's a popularity contest. The reason you should be getting a promotion, the reason you should be getting higher pay is because of your skill set. There's a lot of reasons why you're not. We'll talk about that later. How to listen. Nice versus kind, and how to operationalize that in your life. She's so fancy. Hey, Doc. she's very, very intelligent, and she's picking up on the subtlety here, right? Stop trying to be liked. We are socialized to want to be liked. We are rewarded for being liked, and it's a hard habit to break. But what happens when you focus on the wrong thing? What happens when you take attention? This is not a beauty pageant, y'all. Life is not a damn beauty pageant. I'm sorry. A lot of those women on that stage are gorgeous, but they're also very intelligent. But how much of their intellect do we judge on that stage? We don't even, this lady's a lawyer, this lady's an engineer, but they don't want to hear about that. They want to say, are you cute in a bikini and all this makeup and poise and all these things? It's a popularity contest. It's a beauty contest. Okay. At work, especially at work, we want to be respected. Okay. So aim, I'm just telling you, do you understand? Respect for your skills. Respect versus, actually wrote that one down, like. Which one would you prefer? What is your real goal? Which one would you prefer and why? If you want respect, then you want them to value what you're bringing to the table. You want them to value what you're saying in the meeting. Okay. They want you to implement your ideas and strategies because you're the expert? Would you prefer to be treated like the expert, or everybody bullshit you? Sorry, y'all, but everybody's BSing you, saying ah, ha, 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 in your face, but behind closed doors, the money's not there. Behind closed doors, the person that they're friends with is getting all this money. Would you like that? Do you want it to be a popularity contest, or do you actually want to be respected and compensated accordingly? Okay. So this is why I'm trying to address these subtleties underneath, because I've not been liked a lot in my life, but I've been more successful than a whole lot of women who are smarter than me. My father didn't raise me to be liked. You get what you negotiate. You don't get what you deserve. You're smart. You're capable, but you're focused on the wrong things, and so therefore it gets muddy. Okay. I want you to also realize that you're not speaking up. When you expect certain things to happen, but you don't speak up, you don't verbalize it. I'll give you a real example. Well, I didn't finish that other example about chief resident. The chief resident was somebody who was more like me, and she was actually she was very rigid. She was from another country. She was very pragmatic. She was very skilled. She was very intelligent. She did not like anybody BSing her. Okay. And so people would approach her trying to butter her up. Oh, I got you this, or I made you coffee in the room over there. I brought you some Starbucks, whatever they were trying to do to get her to like them. I just walked up to her from the day one and said, "Listen, what's going to get me an A here? What do you value? What is going to make me a better physician? What's going to move the needle in terms of me being on point or not?" She told me. Then I asked her a very important question that other residents didn't ask. You know what it is? What holidays do you want because you have kids? I know how to negotiate. I walk right in and said, "What holidays y'all want because you have kids or have this thing or that special thing?" I wrote it down. I said, "Okay, cool. I'll work Christmas. I'll work so and so," because I didn't actually care. I did not have a family nearby. I did not have children, and I already knew that. But guess what? They liked me by default because in the end, they they got what they wanted, and there was no BS. There was no it wasn't transactional. So if you don't speak up and say, "Hey, I actually prefer to be off in the summer." I didn't even have to say that. I just said, "Hey, what do you want? What do you need? What do you need?" Took my notes and then figured out what I wanted to actually do with that information. But I didn't try to be liked. I didn't try. None of that matters. Now I'm kind and sweet to the patients, right? I'm kind and interactive with my staff members and people who work for me now. I try to be respectful, right? I'm respectful and all those things. But the idea that you have to be liked all the time is probably not going to happen, because you're also somebody who has to hire and fire. You're also someone who has to tell somebody difficult news sometimes because it's important. So respect. Let's see. Receiving what you negotiate. I have to assess what I'm negotiating. I like that example. Okay. So sometimes we're negotiating the wrong thing. And sometimes, this one actually I'm going to add on. You're in the wrong place. You are in. So you're talking to the wrong person. Can y'all think of an example when you're talking to the wrong person? I mean, this was on my heart to give you today. Like, everything doesn't have to be, it's better to come in impromptu and answer the question you're not asking than to have everything all polished and perfect and it's not what you need today. So you're talking to the wrong people. Okay. So you're negotiating with the wrong person. Um, Sometimes they don't value you as a person. Sometimes they don't respect your skill set. And oftentimes in the marketplace, the company, right, or the leader in the company may be great on paper, but if the leader in your department isn't the right person, or they're just a brown noser themselves, good luck trying to get on the same page and advocate for your raise or your next steps. And this works with families too. I'm sorry. Y'all tend to want to please the squeaky wheel, the person who's going to suck you dry. You're trying to please them too, or trying to keep the peace, or trying to avoid conflict. How many times have we tried to avoid conflict? And so we're approaching everything wrong. Exactly. Good morning. So in the family, all this niceness, doing what you're asked, doing what you're told, like you were raised sometimes to be, it gets you in trouble because it takes up all your time. And I had a whole conversation with y'all about time, but too much of this stuff, you're baking the wrong cake, you're asking the wrong questions, you're trying to give people things that they don't value. And sometimes that's your time. They don't value your time. So stop giving it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's that simple. I'm saying if you don't do what I'm saying, nice versus kind, speaking up, getting in the right room with the right people who value you, a lot of the things you're doing right won't matter. Mic drop, right? Like what you're doing won't pay off because you didn't assess your environment and make sure that you're in a place where this is going to work out for you. If you're in a toxic space, none of it works. Oh, did you notice that? Did you hear what I said? You did everything right. You're like, yeah, I did that. Check. I did that. I was this. I was that. Guess what? You're in a toxic space or face. You're in somebody's toxic space or you're in a toxic phase. You don't even realize, right, that you are in a toxic place because they're looking you in the eye and saying, sure, no problem. But what do their actions say? There's the problem. Did I hit the hit now? Boop. You're talking to the wrong people and believing what they say because you are someone whose word matters. You are someone who's respectable. You're someone who, when you say it, you mean it. They aren't. And you haven't picked up on the fact that what they say and what they do don't match. So you're in the wrong toxic job. You're in the wrong toxic spaces and places with people and faces, and you're feeling frustrated. You're feeling angry. You're feeling underutilized sometimes, right? They're not even, you got all these degrees and stuff, and they're not even utilizing you in the right ways. You're asking the wrong question. Not, oh, what can I do to make them promote me? What can I do to help them, make them compensate me? The question is, what do you need to do internally to stop burning yourself out in the wrong places? Does that help? I certainly hope so, because a lot of the consults that I receive could be solved by us having a real conversation about a gritty conversation about what you've noticed in your life as a pattern. Y'all won't recognize the patterns. I'm just going to go ahead and put that up. Patterns of behavior and patterns of thinking. This is what's really going on. Whether you're not recognizing what they're doing, but you're oftentimes not recognizing what you are doing. Does that make sense? You're exacerbating the problem by being the person they know they can manipulate, being the person that they know that they can count on to pick up the pieces or fill in the gaps. You know, I was real clear about my stuff up front. I was like, look, I'm already booked for all the major holidays. I can do what you want. And I didn't deal with them the rest of the year. I didn't deal with the calendar the rest of the year. I wasn't swapping weekends with people. I didn't have to worry about none of that stuff when I was in training because I was like, look, I'm already working Christmas and Thanksgiving or whatever it is that I chose. Y'all wanted this. Y'all wanted New Year's. I said, no problem. I didn't have plans. I didn't care. I wanted to be off in the summer. And now I will be. And they watch me frolic and have enjoyed my summer all those months because I worked the back-to-back holidays they didn't want. And I ended up winning. So I didn't have to worry about how they felt about me, but I did get to enjoy my life a whole lot more than other people because I had asked the right questions. So if you are finding yourself stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted, banging your head against the wall, see if one of these applies to you. Let's run them down really quick. You're being nice versus kind. Kind is authentic. Nice is transactional. You want something in return or you want them to like you. Stop caring what these people think. You want to be respected versus liked. Does this all make sense? You need to speak up when things are raggedy, or you need to have a conversation with yourself in the mirror that, man, maybe I misread the signs and I need to stop talking to the wrong people who aren't consistent. What they say doesn't match what they do, you know? So stop doing all the right things in toxic spaces. I'm just trying to say that these are the things that are going on in the background that often don't get addressed. What patterns of behavior or thinking in yourself do you need to change to reach your goals? That's a good question. And what I would say is it's often individualized. And this is why I do a consult in private. Sometimes it takes a little bit of me asking the right questions about the things that are bothering you or the goals that you're trying to reach to help you decide what needs to happen for you individually. Yes, there's some themes. This is why I'm touching you guys with the themes. The patterns of behavior and thinking are thinking I need to be pleased. People pleasing is the disease. The disease to please is a lot of women. That also means you're not asking about what does this person get paid and why? Why am I being underpaid in the marketplace? There's a lot of symptoms that y'all come with, but the patterns of behavior, that's my job. I see the pattern in how you describe the situation and what has happened as a result, and then you tell me what you want. I can help you get from, I'm the bridge from what's going on across to where you want to be, because we got to break those chains. They're chains. It's binding you into a repetitive pattern. So I got to at least tell you, hey, these are some signs that you should call me because it's not getting better. You doing all the things you know to do hasn't worked. And now you're losing time and money. Every day that you let these people drain you of your time and energy, family included, I'm sorry, they're usually the culprits that start it all off and get you in that thinking pattern. We got to break all of that. And what got you here won't get you here. So that's just where I am with that. We will talk about signs more clearly, about what signs are going to show up when you're in toxic spaces. But I did want to make sure that you really really understand what self-care looks like. And I know what it feels like. Don't you want to feel peaceful? Don't you want to stop dreading going back there to the family gatherings, to the soirees for work that you mandatory nonsense? Real self-care is protecting your peace, protecting your heart, your mind, your spirit, and also being in spaces where you can actually expect that if you're you'll be appreciated and treated well because you're in the right places. You don't have to ask for it. It just happens because you're in places where people think like you and work like you. But it does take some difficult conversations, and that's what I'm here for. If you guys want to talk to me, I may have this already written out from a different discussion. You can get in touch with me. I haven't done free consults in a long time, so this is something you want to take advantage of, like yesterday. drtonymd.com/talk. If you want to get on my calendar so that I can hear what is going on with you, we can talk about the patterns you've developed because, well, it's gotten you this far, but it's not getting you there. And then we can decide what you do want, what you do deserve at this stage in your life. And y'all can't see as far ahead because you're in it. You're tired. You're so ground down by the BS, right? So tomorrow we will talk about the signs that things aren't going to get better, and some of them are subtle. Okay. So that you can start thinking, man, if this isn't going to work, what do I want to do? It's Dr. Toni, your board certified physician, certified coach, and I am here to make sure that the life that you plan, the life that you desire, you can go get it unapologetically. That's really why I'm here. All right, let's see if this one more question is here. What patterns? Okay, we talked about that. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Anything else? Okay, great. If you have any other questions, just inbox me. I'm here. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna go take care of the baby.